So as real estate investors, we've all heard of SEO and PPC to get motivated sellers. Stands for search engine optimization, as well as Google pay per click. And this is great ways to get motivated sellers, but a lot of people hear different rumors about what stuff actually costs. Well, I wanted to break down a video for what it exactly costs me, as well as some of my other clients, depending on the market that you're in, that way you have a good idea of what stuff actually costs, instead of seeing other rumors out there and seeing what other people spent, because there's a lot of different strategies to do this. And I only do the strategy that is going to be the one that makes the most sense. I don't like to spend a lot of money. I don't like to spend thousands of dollars every single month. I like to be as lean as possible. However, we can spend the least amount of money to get the highest quality motivated sellers from Google. That is all I care about, and I wanted to break down kind of my pricing structure and how it works in different markets. So obviously, like I said, we've all heard of SEO and PPC. What's the actual price? Well, let's break it down today. So the first thing I'm going to talk about here is I'm going to explain what SEO is really from a deep dive, as well as the average cost depending on the area. Now, basically what SEO is here, I'm going to go over to my area, Sell My House Fast Sioux Falls. That's where we do deals, and that's my local market. You know, an area of 250,000 people, we average from SEO roughly 2 to 3 deals every single month, which is very impressive. You'd think it wouldn't be as much in such a small area, but we do very, very well. And there's a reason I like to promote it so much, is because it actually works for especially what you're putting into it. Now, here's my Google business profile here, as well as our website right here. So this is what SEO, what I consider search engine optimization. I do throw Google business profiles into that category because it kind of gives me the same classification as well as a website. Because the end goal is we want to make sure our website is ranking at the top for as many keywords as possible that motivated sellers would look up, as well as our Google business profile, because this is completely organic. You can make a Google business profile for free, and you can go on Carrot and make a website just like this in 15 seconds to get it to rank. But there's a lot of different strategies on how to do that. Now, if you're curious on how to get your website and Google business profile to actually rank and actually get you motivated sellers, I have an entire video series that I will link in the description for you. That way you can just follow along. I literally make unedited YouTube videos of me making a website start to finish that actually ranks, right? So that way you have full understanding of how to do it, and you don't have to buy any crazy courses or anything like that. Go ahead and watch them below. So that's basically SEO, just getting your Google business profile up there as high as you can, as well as your website for as many different keywords. And basically, what it comes to as far as pricing for this is what you're paying for a lot of the time is really, it's kind of like the plumber idea. Obviously, a lot of it is just for, you're paying somebody like me, which if you're curious, or if you want somebody to do it for you, link below, marketingformotivatedsellers.com. I do SEO and PPC for just real estate investors all across the country. But as far as the cost of what it would be, you're really spending most of your money on is really just I understand the comprehension of SEO. I know in SEO, there's no one size fits all. There's no one exact blueprint. You kind of have to understand SEO as a whole to now understand, okay, this happened, now I have to react by doing this. And basically, it's just a game of the next 6 to 9 months is getting your website up at the top so that way it actually stays there. Obviously, there's a lot of ways to do SEO. You can get to the top very fast and then drop right back down to where people will never even find you very quick, but you have to do it correctly. And that's why usually it takes around 6 to 9 to 12 months depending on how competitive your market is. Now, this is a big downside to SEO, which we'll get to later, but it takes a very strategic knowledge in SEO to actually succeed and make sure the website stays there full time and you actually are in the long term getting motivated sellers. But obviously there's a lot of other costs that go into it. Obviously I have a full team that obviously helps out with a lot of this, so that's where a lot of the costs go, as well as we have a full team that does backlinks and all that stuff, so obviously that stuff does cost a little bit of money as well. And so the pricing as far as what it works, if like for example in a market of me who has 250,000 people, I'm going to be probably charging anywhere from $700 to $900 every single month for SEO. And usually I like to do my contracts 6 to 12 months just because it's a long-term game. You cannot expect to get anything within 1, 2, or 3 months within this SEO game, especially if your site's brand new. It's just simply not going to work. It's just simply not going to work that way. But as well, like with our contracts, I know we like to do long-term because we only like to work with long-term clients, but that's what I would charge in a market like this. Now, if you're talking a million people or more, that's when you can get to the 1,000 to the 1,200 every single month. But now if you're talking the 1.5 to 2 million, that's when you can get up to the 1,400, 1,500. But if you're talking anywhere from the, maybe the top 5, top 10 cities, metro cities in the United States, like Los Angeles, New York, and all these places, I mean, you're talking anywhere upwards of $2,000 a month, just because of how much time is exerted into this and resources that we'd have to put into it to make sure we have long-term success with this. And that's kind of SEO, in a nutshell. And obviously, what do you get from this? What is the really return when you spend money like that? Well, at the end of the day, basically, like for us, like I said, we get 2 to 3 deals every single month. So if you're spending $700 to $900 a month on SEO, it's a great deal. I mean, you're spending less than $1,000 a month to get 2 to 3 deals, and then they're very, very solid. Obviously, results vary for different areas. I mean, we've been in a pretty locked down in our area for quite a while. This is, basically my SEO knowledge is trial and error from the last 3 years of having our own website as well as doing other clients too. But when you get about to a million to ours, I mean, we're probably averaging anywhere from 5 to 10, maybe or more leads per month. When you get to the million to 2 million, that's where you're going to definitely get a lot bigger. I mean, you can get anywhere upwards from 20 to 25 leads every single month. So the KPIs are very good. You're going to close. You don't need as many leads to get a deal with SEO, just because people are intentfully looking up motivated keyword on Google, clicking on your website, filling out a form. I mean, there isn't more of a motivated seller than that. Obviously, you're going to get some people that are listed on the market already or are a wholesaler trying to sell off a deal. That naturally happens all the time. And really, that's the only bad part to SEO when it comes to lead gen. But it's obviously great. If you're getting those, that means you're visible somewhere, right? So that's SEO and kind of the pricing in a nutshell. And if you have any questions, please comment below, or you can just shoot me a DM over Instagram and we can go over it there. But that's kind of SEO explained, as well as the average cost. Now, PPC, Google pay-per-click. What is this? And kind of how much does it cost? Because I have heard so many different things about PPC. I've heard nightmare stories about, hey, I turned on PPC and I spent $9,000 over the weekend. I actually have a current client that literally told me that, which is insane. And I've also heard current clients that have also came to me and said, I don't really want to do PPC because I spent 25 grand over the past 6 months just getting it started. We didn't really get that much from it. Now, my style of PPC may vary from all these other companies that do it nationwide or do it in different strategies. I'm all about just locally. I only run PPC locally because if I'm going to spend money on clicks, if we're already doing SEO, we got our Google business profile there, why not just make sure that our PPC is supporting our SEO and Google business profile? I only want our ad to show for high motivating keywords, and that way we can spend all of our budget, which is usually not very much. I spend less than $1,000 a month. Obviously, I have a competitor up here too, but usually our ads show up over 90% of the time at the top. And with this, this is all it is. You see the company name, Sioux Empire Home Buyers, then you see the Google business profile, then you see the profile again, then you see the website. And this is what I call the trifecta method, and that's why I'm such a big fan of PPC. Because they asked me, well, if you already have a website up there in a Google business profile, why are you running PPC in the first place? Because naturally, there's going to be keywords out there, no matter what market, how easy or difficult it is, and how big your brand is. There's going to be keywords you're not going to rank number 1 for, or even the top 3 for sometimes. And that's just natural. That's just how SEO goes sometimes. And that's why with SEO, you want to rank for the top keywords that are looked up the most or have the most intent. That way, when somebody actually does come, they're more intentful or they're a better lead. I'm a big fan of that. But why not have a PPC campaign that no matter where our profile is, maybe our profile shows up, our website doesn't. Maybe our website shows up, profile doesn't. But why not have a PPC campaign to show up there as well? Because a lot of people, honestly, they do scroll through the sponsored ads more times than not. But at the end of the day, you're only getting charged when somebody clicks on it, right? So it's going to also benefit you because when they scroll through, they're going to see, oh, my company name again, company name again, company again, and company again. Who do you think they're going to be the first choice they're going to fill out? It's definitely going to be us every single time. So I only use PPC to support our SEO, meaning if you were in my local market of 250,000 people, whether you had 1 million people, whatever the case may be, I only like to do PPC in the areas we're targeting SEO, which I'm a big fan of only doing your backyard market because that's where it's going to be the most powerful, because that way you don't have to spend as much money to actually get great results. Why not be the man or woman, the premier cash home buyer of your backyard? Why not? Tackle the PPC, tackle the ranks in the local packs for the Google Business Profile as well as the websites. It's a great way. But like I said, I spend less than $1,000 a month in ad spend to get something like this. But usually it can depend on depending on the plan. Ranging anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month is usually a monthly management fee for somebody like myself. Now, other companies may charge more or less, whatever the case may be. That's just what we charge, depending on kind of what the area looks like, what we're targeting, how much time we have to spend on it is really what dictates the cost for the management fee. Otherwise, the ad spend's all on you, and it can really vary. Now, I usually like to say, like for me, obviously, 250,000 people, I spend less than $1,000 a month. Very cheap. Now, if you get towards the million people, depending on the activity as well, you can spend definitely anywhere from that $2,000 to $2,500. Now, if you get $1.5 million to $2,000, I definitely think you can get upwards to that $3,000 to $4,000 a month mark. The way I run PPC. And you might get different quotes from other people, but the way I run PPC, it is a lot different. I only run it for words that are actually people are motivated in. I don't run broad match. I only keep it very, very tight knit, and maybe just that way we just get more high quality motivated sellers. You're not wasting your money on clicks. Yes, it is a higher cost per click, and the cost per deal might be higher, but I would rather get more quality leads rather than quantity. I don't care about the quantity. We're here to get deals, right? We're here to get wholesale deals, flips, whatever the case may be. So that's what kind of the cost for ad spend would run in an area just to prepare you. And now as far as the time frame, we'll kind of get into this as we go on. Before I jump ahead of myself, I want to make sure I'm on. So let's go back to SEO here for a second. So SEO pros and cons. Now, obviously, it's great. You know, you have your profile here, you have your website here. It's very cheap to have. I mean, why wouldn't you? Now, the only con with SEO is that it takes a while. Like we mentioned before, it can take usually from 6 to 12 months, and that's a wide range. But 12 months more if you're a brand new website and you're starting in a big market, that's pretty normal to get some good results from it. 6 months if you're in a smaller market, depending on your age as well of your website, right? 6 to 12 months is a great thing to make sure that you understand this is how long it takes and you have to be in it for a long-term game. Now, with that, obviously the reward is very, very high because once you are the premier cash home buyer and you actually do it correctly in whatever local area you do deals in, it's very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. You can build an endless funnel of deals to consistently come to your website. It's insane, right? Now, obviously the pros, I just mentioned it, the return is so high. As far as the money you put into SEO to getting out of it, it is the lowest risk cost per lead I've ever used, and there's a reason I push it so much, is because the cost per lead is so little, and it's the best motivated sellers I've ever received, and we still do it all. We still do the cold calling, we still do the bandit signs, we still do all these different stuff. We deal with pre-foreclosures, whatever, in our local area, but these deals or these motivated sellers who come through your website organically will never get any better. So that's the pros and cons of SEO. Now, let's move on to PPC pros and cons. So with this, obviously the pros here is that it's a lot quicker than SEO. SEO takes, like I said, 6 to 12 months, where if you're starting out a brand new campaign, it's very realistic to be more in that 60 to 90 days where you can actually start seeing some great results. I wish I would say that it takes within 30 days and you can be up there like a snap of a finger, but as we all know, there's a lot of competition out there nowadays that may have been true 5 years ago. In today's day and age, that is not the case. It usually takes around 60 to 90 days to have for sure at least some results, at least some leads coming in, where with SEO, it can take a little bit longer than that, 6, 9, 12 months. So that's the pro with it, is that you can get reactions much faster. But the only con with it is, first of all, it's definitely less credible because, like I said before, people tend to scroll through sponsored ads a lot faster. Than when they go to organic. They like to see the organic profiles as well as the organic websites most of the time. I've seen we usually get about I would say 85%, 90% of our leads come from organic SEO. But like I said, with PPC, it's definitely worth making sure that you at least have that little bit in there just to get that first impression immediately. Because some people, they do click on the sponsored ad right away. The first thing they see, bang, click on it. No matter if sponsored ad, no matter if it's a nationwide, no matter if it's a local company, whatever the case may be, they're going to click on it. And you want to be there. You always want to be the premier cash home buyer in your area, and that's how you do it. Now with the cons here, obviously it's much more expensive than SEO. Much more expensive. But you definitely don't have to wait as long, so that's the pro. But much more expensive, and when you do that, you have to continue just feeding it all the time, and you're essentially renting a spot in Google's eyes. You don't really own digital real estate like you would with an SEO profile and a website. You don't really have that digital real estate like we do. I mean, for us, it's taken a long time to get it here, but now we are so established in our area that it's very tough to beat us, to be honest. It really is. And so once you have the digital real estate, it's very nice. But that's the only downfall with PPC is you're just simply just feeding rent to Google, feeding rent constantly, building no equity whatsoever, where as a website you are. But like I said, now moving on to my next point, my last point here, what's the solution? Now, we've broken down the pricing, we've broken down how it's going to be. Now, in my market, say that you were in a market of 250, 300,000 people, depending on the competition. Anywhere, so SEO, I'm in anywhere from $700 to $900 a month. Let's call it $800 a month. Plus, let's say $600 in management fee. That's $1,400 just to pay me to do it. For a 6 to 12 month contract, including the SEO plus PPC on top of it. Spend less than $1,000 a month. You're $2,500 a month roughly in getting your Google website up there. And I'm just being realistic. I don't like to lie to anybody. I'm just being honest. This is what it costs to be successful, at least with our company, because all we do is real estate investors, and we make sure that we have the highest quality product possible because we do it ourselves. And there's a reason we bring it out so much and preach it so much, because it's our favorite. It does the best out of anything that we have. And so what's the solution here? With that budget, if you were okay with paying a budget like that, and you had more money than time on your hands right now, and you are willing to pay that for 6 to 12 months and invest in your future in that is where it's going to be very, very lethal. You are now on track to build a trifecta system and making sure you are the premier cash home buyer. I highly recommend doing both because, and I say this biasly, apparently, but I honestly believe this. As you can see, I do it with my own company. And so I believe that doing both definitely provides support for each other. You have your Google business profile who's going to get up there a lot faster than the website. Then the website's lagging back here. If you have your profile and your PPC campaign within 30 to 60 to maybe 90 days, you can have success very quickly with both of those combined. Now then the website catches up in 6 to 9 months, and now you're getting close to that trifecta method. And once you do that, it's going to make that 6 to 9 months or 12 months seem a lot shorter when you're actually getting some lead flow and you're actually getting some help from Google Ads, and while your other stuff is trying to rank organically, because it can be a tough patience game when it comes to SEO. No matter what market you're in, it doesn't matter how easy or difficult it is or how much competition there is. It can be a tough wait sometimes. So having Google Ads is a great way to keep supporting that as you keep waiting and moving forward, because by the time your website actually ranks, it is going to be lethal because your PPC campaign will be dialed, your profile will be dialed, and your website will be dialed for all these keywords, now creating what I call the trifecta system. Now that's my breakdown as far as SEO and PPC goes for real estate investors. I hope you found this video valuable. If you have any questions, please comment below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. I greatly appreciate you watching, but I'll see you next time.